Yeah, nice one. Made me laugh yesterday. I see that Conor McGregor, the way he was walking, yeah, and Usyk was taking the mickey out of him, and he reminds me of Colin Cracknell from the fruit market because Colin, that's exactly like Colin Cracknell used to walk, throwing his arms about side to side. Yeah, man, and do you know what? I'd love to go back to those days, the fruit market, mate. There was some proper hard men in there. You know what I mean? I mean, geezers was fight on the cobbles. Like it was every day. Every day you'd have 2, 3 fights on the cobbles. Without shadow of any, there was always greengrocers fighting against greengrocers. Porters was always fighting greengrocers. And it was like, and when you got the trees come in, you had all the travellers coming there with the trees. There was always fights. It was just one of them things. Frankham's, the Stevenses, there was always fights in there, you know what I mean? I loved it, mate. It's a good old thing. You know, big Joe Barwick, yep, Joe Barwick. Uh, he was like, you know, he was a proper big, powerful man, and him and his brother. They used to do coal in their bags of coal, but they used to fight. And Peter Baker, anybody know Peter Baker? Peter Baker, another nice geezer. And I was only the kid. I was only young there, yeah. I was only 16, 17, and they was all big men, yeah. But when I was to fight, man, I was to fight also because I used to do work on the nights, be a night porter, unloading all the lorries, yeah. And I used to always help Colin in the daytime. And because I used to help Colin, we used to fight on the cobbles a lot. I learned a lot about fighting on the cobbles. So because I learnt a lot fighting the cobbles, I was always wanting to fight greengrocers, you know what I mean? I'd always want to fight. And I've had some fights with loads of greengrocers, mate. And I've come unstuck. Of course I've come unstuck, you know what I mean? I'm 17, 18 years of age. You know, of course I've come unstuck. Of course some greengrocers have bashed me up, you know? But I would never give in. I would never give in. I mean, I'd always go back like 2 days later and I say, come on, let's finish this off. And they go, nah, leave it, you know what I mean? And all that, you know? But loads of times I've had beatings from greengrocers. But I love that, man. I love that life, you know. Going in when I used to go in there in the mornings and and make such a good job at the front, show all the greengrocers all the stuff we got for sale, and when the potatoes come in, I'd be unloading the big potato lorries, big fruit lorries, oranges, apples, pears. I'd be unloading them all day, and then when I stayed in the daytime, I'd be unloading them. You know what I mean? I learned to nut things, put them on my head with a cap, run up the ladder, stack them. You know, and your neck becomes huge, mate, a massive neck. Yeah. I love that game, man. I love that fruit game. It was the greatest part of my life working in the fruit market, meeting all the greengrocers, the puddles, and all the Willses. I mean, you know, and some good people, mate. Some good, hard Ginger Carlisle, Martin Worsfold, Derek Pearce, Bobby Collinses, the Welleses. There was some proper hard men. I mean, Joe Strong. He was the name Joe Strong was a name as he was a porter, yeah, and he was the strongest guy in a fruit market for a long time. But then he got a big company, his own company. He was Jewish, yeah, so that wasn't his name, but his name they made up for him, yeah, Joe Strong. But his company was called Joe Strong as well, and mate, he used to lift up these barrows, yeah, lift up these barrows, the old barrows you might see on the street full of fruit and veg, yeah. Used to lift up them, you know, and used to lift them up by the handles. And mate, that's such a feat of strength. You know, I've never been able to do it, you know. I've never been able to do what he done. Even though I trained and trained and tried all the time to do that, I could never do it. Turn it over, I could turn it over with put one hand and flip it over. That was hard work. But to pick it up from the handles, one of them barrows, mate, is virtually impossible. Yeah, but Joe used to do it. You know, he used to come out of his firm, big, powerful man with glasses. Yeah, he used to come out of his firm and get the barrow and show people how to do it. Just wash, you know. And I've tried my hardest, man. Yeah, I would love to do that. And then there was my what is it? Who is it? There was Mickey Null. Mickey Null, me and him got back a long way. Mickey Null. There was. I tell you what. there was. I wish I could get all their names back. Like I remember a lot. Now and again, I talk about it, then I get names and names. But there were some guys in there, man, that all they'd done all day, is graft, pick up big bags of potatoes, put them on their head, nut them, run around with big 2 or 3 back. I've seen some greengrowers, porters, yeah, big porters. I mean, powerful porters with 2 of them sacks on their head, their nut, £112 sacks, yeah. Each sack, the big 108 sacks on their nutting them, yeah, and running them to the greengrocers, running them to the vans, just chucking them in. Powerful men, mate, powerful men. And them men, never again. Them ones don't live. They wouldn't live no more. Them ones, you wouldn't be able to do what they done. No way would you do. They're old school, mate. An old blower. He had a port in there, Blower his name was, and he was about, I don't know, in his 80s, and he used to still push a barrow around. That was the greatest job ever, mate. And the fruit, you could eat what you like, all healthy, go over to the calves, have nice breakfasts, big dinners, going to Alstead's, which is in the market. Do you know what? I can never make out why they pulled Brentford market down and put them big old fucking buildings what they put up now. I know there's a lot of flats there now. They put a lot of flats on the market's ground, and big other buildings, there's swimming pools there and all that. But I can never make out why they pulled it all down, because there were some beautiful, beautiful buildings inside there, all like corrugated sheets and all that, cast iron and all that, unbelievable, mate, in there. So nice, big sheets, like corrugated sheets, but they had all patterns on them, like so old, you know what I mean? Faces, mate, you'd never see anything like it, and cast irons and all, and big cobbles. I mean, the cobbles were a fortune, you know what I mean? They could have just kept that, Brentford market and made it like big loads of bars, shops and all that, you know what I mean? They'd have earned a fortune out of that. People would have loved to have gone there and see how it was, see how it was in them days. And for me, I've gone through it. I've gone through them days, and I'm very proud to have gone through all that, yeah? Seen all the market, seen all the fights, seen everybody the way they are, yeah? Go to the old Hill stall in the morning, and have eels, jellied eels, and a big lump of bread and vinegar and all that in it, you know what I mean? Mate, beautiful life, beautiful life. Everybody in there money, because it's a funny old game, mate, the fruit market. You've got people to nick it off motors, sell it to greengrocers, and then greengrocers, it's crazy. The way the money in the fruit market was earned, mate. And everybody was a friend with each other, until they started getting on the cobbles to have a fight. It's nice to see the fight in the morning. So see it every morning, fights, fights. Always a fight in the fruit market, mate. Always 2, 3 a day, and people getting like bashed up, right good fights, No, none of these picking up big iron bars or bits of wood. It was all standing up, toe to toe fist fights, yeah, and good fights. Chicky Summers, and I've seen Chick Summers, mate, and old boy have some proper fights, mate. Strawberry hat. Take the strawberry hat off, borders, a badge underneath, but it could have a right fight, mate. And he'd stand up and have a Cracknell. I've never seen Cracknell, I've never seen Colin Cracknell go without having a fight every day. Honestly, he would have a fight every day, Colin. And Colin could bang, man. Is there anybody seen that picture of me when I fought him at Acton Town Hall? And you can, there's a picture around. I've got one in my office, yeah. Mate, when he hit me on the chin, mate, he hurt me. He could really hit, Colin. You know what I mean? He was only, I suppose he's not even a cruiserweight, He was like, I don't know, 14 stone, which I suppose is a cruiserweight, really, but he could bang, mate. He could really bang, and, me and him toe to toe in the foot market. I learned a lot from him, yeah. I learned a lot. He held back a lot. He he didn't go out to knock me out and all that sort of thing in the foot market. He just learnt me a lot. Me, but he's cut my eye. I've been cut up with a bag gloves, because sometimes we have bag glove, boxing glove, or sometimes just a bag glove, bare fist on the other one. You know what I mean? And I love Colin because he taught me a lot. Yeah, and and he got the others. I mean, Bobby Collins, Wacker Collins, and Philip Collins, all the foot market, mate. I loved them. I love all them foot market. I love them all the Collinses, the Welleses. You had Arthur Wells, Charlie Wells, Tommy Wells, Georgie Wells, Billy Wells. Welleses, yeah. Well, mate, there was so many of them, you know what I mean? The worst one was Elfie Wells, mate. He was like, poor. He was mad. He was a dangerous man, mate. He was like dangerous. Like he could have a fight, but he was also wicked. He was also wicked. Arthur Wells, he was the same, short, stocky, but all the others were big, tall, like all 6'3", 6'4", but all could fight. Anybody going to Brentford from Chiswick roundabout, as you're going down there and you've got Kew Bridge on the left hand side, and you pass Kew Bridge, you might go and see somewhere, but I don't think they do it no more. But all the army stuff will be hanging up on the walls and all that. That's Billy Wells. Billy Wells owned all that, and as well as working in the market. And as you come up to Kew Bridge and you do a left by the Thames, he owned all them shops there. So this is all at the foot market. Everything they earned was everything they got come from the foot market, the Welleses, And I think Tommy was massive, mate. Tommy Wells was like ex-professional fighter. He was, I think, the hardest one out of the family, I think. But Elfie was the most dangerous one, But you got 8 brothers, 7 or 8 brothers, mate. All handfuls. Most of them works in the market. All 6'3", 6'4", except for Arthur. You got an handful. You know what I mean? Then you had my mate Johnny Wells. You had his brother Ray Wells. Ray and John. Johnny Wells. John can have a right fight. He's had a few fights with Colin Cracknell. I heard he beat Colin Cracknell. I'm going to see it. Ray told me that he beat him. Ray Wells now, he lives in the Isle of Wight. He's a nice kid, mate, Ray. I like Ray. He's seen a lot of things. He grew up with us, He grew up through the ranks of the market, 15, 16, working in the market as a stand boy, and then going up through a supporter game, And now, as I said, he lives on the Isle of Wight. His brother John was one of the first guys that I've ever met in the foot market. Me and him become white pals. We was always fighting in the boathouse, the Castle, Richmond, Cheeky Pete's, and all these sorts of places. But John was my pal. When I first went in the market on a place called Phillips's, John worked there, but he was my mate. I love John, mate, and he died. Rest in peace, John. You know what I mean? He died. I don't know what he died of. You know what I mean? But he used to love a drink, John, and he used to love a fight. He could have all that. He could have a fight, man. But as I said, everybody I know in the foot market, well, not everybody I know, but everybody that in the foot market could really march on, and they weren't afraid to have a fight. They weren't afraid to have a toe-to-toe. It's nice, isn't it? You know what I mean? It's nice, man. It's nice. When I first went in there as a young kid, and I see how it was, the market, and I thought, wow, man, this is like history, yeah? You had the thing called the lister, it started up with the hand, boom, and you load up the back of it, and it was to turn it round, twist it, and that was the thing that come in after the barrow, yeah. But they still used the barrows, a lot of them, But lister was the one, mate. And I used to learn to drive the lister. I loved it. The big ones, the big lister with the 3 gears, they're like jets. They're so fast, but you got to be careful. I mean, when I worked for Dean's in the fruit market with my mate Terry Woods. Do you know what? Me and Terry Woods, mate. I mean, Terry Woods was one of the best looking kids I ever seen, right? And he worked in a fruit market, had blonde hair, quite good looking guy, and always mucking about, always shadow boxing or boxing. And I worked for him in Dean's, yeah, and we become white pals. And we've done lots of things together, lots of works together. He got nicked for us a few times, Terry, but he was a proper guy, mate. Proper, hard guy, yeah. I believe his son's nest been done for a big cocaine thing. I think it's cocaine he got nicked for, but a big one, yeah, his son. But yeah, Terry was me and Terry. Terry was friends with Colin Crattle, good friends, and they used to spar around on the inside of the market, yeah, and spar around on the cobbles, like really throw punches at each other. Colin was a sort of geezer that he couldn't really muck about with, yeah, because Colin took everything too serious. You know, you were shadowboxing with him, or not shadowbox, mucking about. He'd take it too serious, and he'd want to come and try and knock you out. You know what I mean? But him and Terry was so fast, you could never ever get in that nowhere to jab your head off, mate. But I love Terry, mate. I love Terry Woods. The market was like one of the best guys in the market. Was a guy called Derek Pierce. Me and Dell, every morning, we used to run around Gumsbury Park. He used to come and pick me up from my stand, drive around the Gumsbury Park and run around the park and come back and work, yeah. Even when I worked on the nights, he used to do the same thing. Pick me up, take me down the park, run around the park. He took me to all the clubs, boxing, all the clubs around my area. He used to box with me. In the afternoons, go to the clubs, get the club opened up and go in there and train. Yeah, man, Derek Pierce. And then he's always up and down Chiswick High Street, Derek. Always walking about. He hasn't really changed now. As people tell me, he's still the same. I like Derek. Me and him go back a long way. A long way. He was respected. He was a well-respected guy. Never, ever said too much. He wasn't a flash. But you knew when you looked at him, he was an handful, Derek. You know, I used to spar a lot with him and Dell. He was a complete handful. Martin Worsfold, one of my co-defendants. Martin was on a potato company, firm. He had arms twice as big as mine, mate. Muscular arms, real big arms. Powerful man. Me and him worked together. I worked with him, going out, delivering places and all that game, and then we got into doing robberies and armed robberies and all that. We all got nicked and things like that, you know. But you know, Colin, when we used to go down Covent Garden, Spitfield, and all these markets, you know, up the city, Colin used to have lots of fights with porters up there, yeah. Porters up there fighting. Yeah, it's crazy, isn't it? It's proper life, mate. We had a proper life. I loved it, man. I loved the market game, yeah. Anyway, I can keep going on. I can keep going on and on about fighting, greengrocers, nicking loads of nicking loads of apples, pears, plums, nicking so much gear in the fruit market, mate. And all them market porters now, they've all got big houses, big shops. Philip Collins, Bobby Collins, Wacker Collins, Janet Collins, they all own big shops, big stalls. They're all multied up, mate, multied up. Anyway, bang, bang, well, nice one, good morning.